Hello, my dear friends. Today, I want to share with you the story of a man who lived most of his life in a wheelchair, who could not walk, who could not speak with his own voice, but who still became one of the greatest scientists in the history of the world. His name was Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking showed us that the power of the human mind is greater than the limits of the body. He showed us that even when life seems impossible, we can rise. He showed us that courage, imagination, and hope are stronger than sickness. This story is not only about science, it is about life. It is about love, family, struggle, and never giving up. Now, let us begin the journey of Stephen Hawking, a mind beyond limits. Chapter 1: A Special Birth. Stephen William Hawking was born on January 8, 1942, in Oxford, England. This date was special. Exactly 300 years earlier, on the same date, the great scientist Galileo Galilei had died. Later, Stephen would say he liked this connection. He also said it made him feel part of the long history of science. Stephen's parents were Frank and Isabel Hawking. They were not rich, but they valued education. His father was a doctor who studied tropical diseases. His mother worked as a secretary. The Hawking family loved books. Their home was often messy with piles of papers and scientific journals. Dinner conversations were about science, politics, and ideas. Stephen was the first child. Later, he had 2 sisters and a brother. The family did not have much money, but they gave their children curiosity and a love for learning. Chapter 2: A Curious Child. Stephen was curious from the beginning. He wanted to know how things worked. He liked to take apart clocks and radios to see what was inside. Sometimes he broke them, but he learned from it. His friends called him Einstein because they saw his sharp mind. He was not always the best student at school. His handwriting was messy, his work sometimes late. But teachers noticed his intelligence. Stephen loved games of imagination. He built small models of airplanes. He made rockets from simple parts. He liked to think about the stars in the sky. Even as a child, he asked big questions. Why are we here? What is the universe made of? How does time move? Chapter 3: Dreams of Mathematics. Stephen went to school in St. Albans near London. He wanted to study mathematics. Numbers and patterns fascinated him. He felt math was the language of the universe, but his father wanted him to study medicine. The family compromised. Stephen studied physics, which included math, but also other sciences. In 1959, at age 17, Stephen went to the University of Oxford. He was one of the youngest students there. At first, he felt shy and lonely, but soon, he made friends and joined clubs. He joined the rowing team, not as a rower, but as a coxswain, the person who steers the boat. He was small and light, so it was perfect for him. He enjoyed the excitement of the sport. At Oxford, Stephen studied little at first, but he was naturally smart. He could learn quickly before exams. He graduated with honors in physics. Chapter 4: A Dark Diagnosis. After Oxford, Stephen went to Cambridge University to study for his PhD. He wanted to study cosmology, the science of the universe. But soon, he noticed strange problems. He fell sometimes. His speech became unclear. His muscles grew weak. Doctors tested him and gave him a shocking answer. He had amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, also known as motor neuron disease. The doctors told him he had only 2 or 3 years to live. Stephen was only 21 years old. His world collapsed. He fell into sadness. He thought his life was over. But then something happened. He met a young woman named Jane Wilde. She was kind, strong, and full of hope. She loved Stephen and believed in him. With Jane by his side, Stephen decided not to give up. He said, "While there's life, there is hope." Chapter 5. Love and Marriage. Stephen and Jane married in 1965. Their love gave Stephen strength to continue. Jane cared for him as his illness grew worse. They later had 3 children together. Life was not easy. Jane had to help him dress, eat, and move, but Stephen continued his studies. He worked on theories of space, time, and black holes. His marriage showed that love can give power, even in the darkest times. Jane's support was one reason Stephen was able to live many years beyond the doctor's prediction. Chapter 6. The World of Black Holes. Stephen studied black holes. A black hole is a place in space where gravity is so strong that nothing, not even light, can escape. Many scientists believed black holes were completely black and silent. But Stephen made a new discovery. He showed that black holes are not fully black. They can slowly release energy, like a faint glow. This became known as Hawking radiation. This idea changed the way scientists understood the universe. It connected physics, astronomy, and quantum theory. It made Stephen famous in the world of science. Chapter 7. A Voice Through a Machine. As the years passed, Stephen lost his ability to speak. After a surgery in 1985, he could no longer use his voice. For many people, this would mean silence, but technology gave him a new chance. Engineers built a computer with a voice synthesizer. Stephen could press buttons with his cheek muscle to form words. The voice was robotic, but it became famous. People around the world recognized it. Stephen used it to give lectures, write books, and even tell jokes. He once said, "Although I cannot move and I have to speak through a computer, in my mind, I am free." Chapter 8. A Brief History of Time. In 1988, Stephen published his book, A Brief History of Time. He wanted to explain the mysteries of the universe in simple words for ordinary people. The book became a bestseller. It sold millions of copies in many languages. It stayed on the list of top-selling books for years. Through this book, Stephen became a global celebrity. People who never studied science read his book and felt inspired. He showed that science is not only for scientists. Science is for everyone. Chapter 9. A Global Icon. Stephen Hawking became more than a scientist. He became a symbol of human courage. He appeared in documentaries, interviews, and even TV shows like The Simpsons and Star Trek. Children and adults admired him. They saw a man who could not move, who could not speak normally, but who still lived with humor, intelligence, and strength. He traveled the world, giving lectures, meeting leaders, and inspiring students. Wherever he went, he spread a message. Do not give up. Use your mind. Be curious. Chapter 10. Family and Challenges. Stephen's family life was not simple. His illness put great pressure on Jane and their children. Over time, their marriage struggled. In 1995, Stephen and Jane divorced. Later, Stephen married Elaine Mason, one of his nurses. That marriage also ended. Even with personal challenges, Stephen stayed close to his children. He was proud of them. His family remained a source of love in his life. Chapter 11. Later, Work and Warnings. In his later years, Stephen continued to write books, such as The Universe in a Nutshell and The Grand Design. He explored new ideas about time, space, and the laws of nature. He also warned about dangers: climate change, nuclear weapons, and uncontrolled artificial intelligence. He told the world to be careful with technology and to care for the Earth. He also encouraged space exploration. He believed humans should one day live on other planets to survive. Chapter 12. Facing the End. Stephen lived much longer than doctors expected. They gave him only 2 years, but he lived more than 50 years with ALS. On March 14, 2018, Stephen Hawking passed away peacefully in Cambridge at the age of 76. The world mourned. Leaders, scientists, and ordinary people gave tributes. They remembered not only his science, but also his courage. His ashes were placed in Westminster Abbey, near the graves of Isaac Newton and Charles Darwin, 2 other great scientists of history. Chapter 13. Lessons from his life. Stephen Hawking's life gives us many lessons. The mind is stronger than the body. Illness cannot stop imagination. Love and support give strength. Science is for everyone, not just experts. Humor can make even hard times lighter. Life is short, but we can fill it with meaning. He once said, "Look up at the stars and not down at your feet." Be curious. And however difficult life may seem, there is always something you can do and succeed at. So, what do we learn from the story of Stephen Hawking? We learn that even when life puts us in a wheelchair, even when our voice is taken, our mind can still be free. We learn that courage is not the absence of pain, but the will to keep going. We learn that science and imagination can give hope to the world. Stephen Hawking truly had a mind beyond limits.